So I'm just gonna ask you some basic questions, I guess. Unrelated, completely unrelated to UW
Yeah,
Flow.
sounds good.
Um, do you do any sports or weightlifting?
Do I do any sports or weightlifting?
Yeah.
I play a weird sport. It's called underwater hockey. Um,
I've heard of that, yeah.
so yeah, I play competitively, so it's I play pretty often. But yeah, how about you?
I'm
Sports?
doing a lot of weightlifting now. Used to play soccer, but don't really want to anymore.
Nice.
Hmm. And this is just a really random question. Do you think you can increase your intelligence?
Do I think I
Your
can?
IQ?
Uh, I think you can learn how to. I think you can learn how to learn faster. So in that sense, like yeah, I think you can like increase the baseline of like how well you think about things.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
What
IQ
do
is
you-
basically how fast you learn things, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's yeah, I think IQ is kind of a measure of like raw memory abilities, but I think you can also like train that to be like incrementally improving over time.
Hmm. I haven't taken an IQ test, so I wouldn't know exactly.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting to think about.
Yeah. You think
I
you can
thought,
increase intelligence?
well, I thought for the most part, it's something that's stuck with you for the rest of your life. You can't really do much with it,
Yeah.
or you can't increase it by a significant margin.
Yeah, yeah.
But there, I think there is some leeway. I think, yes, you can increase it by a little bit. Not much, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
That's
So
good.
I guess I'll move into the questions that I wanted to ask you for UW Flow. How long did you take to complete this?
Yeah, I can give you some background. So UW Flow was originally a fourth year like engineering design project that was finished in around like I think 2012 by like a group of five students. So they did that in about like 8 months, the original version of it.
So you weren't on the original team.
Yeah, so they had like a really old site, and then they had like data from course reviews and professor reviews. That site like started breaking around 2019. So like what was that like 7 years after they launched it?
Okay.
Because the yeah, so a couple of things they use like the school's API to like pull data about the courses and everything.
I didn't know
Uh,
the school had API.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's I guess that's like the one thing that like you'll need to check with Carleton is if they have like a good source of data for all this. Otherwise, like you have to scrape it yourself, which might be much harder.
Right.
But yeah, so the original team did it in like 8 months. We redid the entire site like from scratch. So we just took the database and we just like kept the data, but everything else we like changed. So we like threw away all the old code. So that took about like a year with I would say it's like four people like working on it like for like 10 hours a week ish.
Mm. Well, you said it was a project for your for school, right?
So for us, we just did it on the side, like for fun. So it wasn't a project for anything.
Oh, not for you. Okay, I see.
Yeah, yeah. So the original project was like for school. So yeah, I think I mean yeah, I would say like about a year for the one we did actually, because we spent like a couple months like planning it out, and then 8 months of like actually doing the work. Um,
So you were doing a lot of fixing of the original.
no, we didn't touch the original at all. We just like took the data and then like recreated everything from scratch, like the server and the front end.
Okay, I
So
see. Wow.
everything was new. Yeah.
So you didn't have to scrape data at all then.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. So you Waterloo. I don't know if maybe I can send you a link, but there's an open data API for Waterloo. I'll just send it here. Yeah, I think the reason like most schools like we've been approached by some other people at other schools, and like the reason it's hard to do is because like every school has a different like data format. Um, but it's yeah, for Waterloo they have a team that like maintains this API, and it's like pretty easy to use. Sometimes they have mistakes a lot of the time because like a lot of the data is like manually entered, but yeah, they have like a GitHub where you like submit tickets and they'll fix. fix issues for you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That changes a lot of how I was thinking of doing it because I was thinking of just scraping basically like all the data. I didn't even realize there was an API.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's still doable if like all the courses are like in the same place, right? But
Mhm.
yeah, this made it like much easier for us. Like you probably it's a probably like actual like month or two of work just to like get the data in the right place and scrape it nicely.
So if it's API, um, you didn't have to scrape any data at all though?
Yeah, we didn't scrape anything. So we just like pull the API. So what we do is like every day at like midnight, we'll just like call the API, like get all the course data, and then update the database if anything like changed. So sometimes like the course description will change or like the prerequisites. So those are all like automatically updated. Um,
So that's why you don't have to be a current student to actually have UW Flow published.
uh, what do you mean?
Because a lot of the problems that I was thinking of that I'd run into would be if you're not a student,
Oh, you can't like scrape data from
yeah,
like internal
you wouldn't
sites.
have the information of the courses.
Right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's like we have like much easier access, and we have like access to all the scheduling of the classes. So like how many seats are open in each class, um, which is not like we would have to do that internally. Otherwise, like I'm sure like Carleton has a system where it's like you log in and you like see courses and
Mm,
stuff. But
okay. Yeah, so with the API, you don't need to log in at all. You just
yeah,
have all the data there. Okay, that's good to know.
yeah. So yeah, Waterloo, you have to get an API key from the like provider, but usually if like you like tell them your use case, they'll give you one. Um, yeah, I don't know. Let me search if Carleton has one. I guess. There's a public exam calendar. Yeah, I think like I mean yeah, UW Flow is like pretty custom to Waterloo. Like most of the UI is like designed around the data that we get from the school. So like how we show like the open seats for courses, the location, the professors. We yeah, I think the nice part about it of getting like official data is that we can like guarantee that like courses actually exist in the system and like they're always like up to date, so we get like less complaints. Yeah, when the system broke down in like 2019, there was a lot of like outdated information on the courses, and then that like confused people. So like the original like team was getting a lot of like emails about like fixing this stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I would just be like careful because like we're third party, so like we're not affiliated with the university, but then like people think we are like part of the university, and they'll like email us to like fix all the course schedules, which we
I
can't.
feel like you mention it in the actual site. I think it was the about where to me it was clear that you are a third party.
Yeah. I think it's not obvious to a lot of people though. Still, maybe we need a banner or something like everywhere to say that. Um, but yeah, I think yeah. What do you have like a team of people that like you want to work with or anything, or you kind of just looking this yourself?
No, I was thinking of doing this on my own,
Yeah,
but I don't think it'd be to the scale that you have UW Flow right now.
yeah.
It'd probably be more bare bones. I don't think I'd even include the reviews, but
Mhm.
that would be interesting to include.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying just like a nice way to like view all the courses and like
Yeah.
browse them and search them. Yeah.
Mm. Talking about reviews, actually, do you pull from Rate My Professor?
I no. All the reviews are like written on the site
And
directly.
how do you store it?
I mean we have a database. Um, we
Okay.
just use Postgres, but yeah, every review is just stored like as text in the database. So we don't actually link like accounts to the database. We just show like if it's anonymous or like the program of the student that took it.
Right. Yes, I noticed that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess like one thing is like we don't let students review courses they haven't taken. So like the way we do that is
Oh
like
wow.
we make sure they like upload their transcripts and then we like parse their transcript. So if because the transcript's all in the same format. So if somebody doesn't have like the right formatting on the transcript, like we won't import their course and they can't like review like a course they didn't take. Um, yeah, there's like some cases I think where it's like one or two where it didn't work for like grad courses, but generally that's like been nice so that like nobody like posts like a bunch of fake reviews.
Did you originally think of that, or did you have a case where that happened and then you had to fix that?
Yeah, the original creators actually like did that. So
Wow.
we just kind of copied the same like behavior um, and like moved the code over. So yeah, they were pretty smart about it to like make sure it was
Hmm.
not getting abused.
So the login as well, how does that work? I read that as a third-party service,
Yeah.
it says in the about, as a third-party service, at UW Flow, we use a host of open source technologies and external libraries that process, but do not store your data. So we also use third-party authentication plugins and software from Google and Facebook.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if somebody creates an account without Google or Facebook, how do you store that? How
Um,
do you keep it secure?
yeah, so we just store like their email in the database and then like we have like a hashed and like salted version of their password. So like I don't know if you're familiar with like how passwords are like generally stored in databases.
A little
Um,
bit.
yeah, so like you don't store the like the actual text of the password
Mhm.
because that's yeah insecure if like somebody gets into your database and like you see everyone's password. So what you do is like you will like have some like hash function where you take the password and then like it'll spit out like a sequence of like letters and numbers that are like pretty different but like always the same based on like what like hashing function you put it through. And then generally you also add like a random word at the end called a salt that just like obscures the password further. So like in order to like guess what someone's password is, you would need to know exactly like what salt phrase was used, like the random word that was appended to the end, and then also like the actual password. So
How do you replicate salt though? The salt. Is it the
uh,
same for each
it's the
account?
same in production. It's just like a secret that's like stored in production for us.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's not generated.
yeah, yeah. But it's like a one-way hash function, so you can't like reverse the output of this like original password and like get back to the original. So you can only like
Unless you have the key.
no, even if you have the key, you can't like reverse the function. You can only like
Whoa.
go one way. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty standard. I think yeah, there's a lot of like libraries that like do it for you
Hmm.
for
Yeah.
code.
I'm not too familiar with that, but that does sound interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's probably easier to just start with like Google or something because they like handle all of the like
Yeah.
yeah, all of the code for this is open source. So if you go on the GitHub, I don't know
Really? That's nice.
if you've seen, but yeah, let me send you the link. It's just under UW Flow on GitHub. There's two repositories, like the back end and the front end. So those are like the two most recently updated ones. And then there's an older repository called RMC. So that was the original code that was written in 2012.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this would have been really nice to have earlier. I didn't realize it was open source.
Yeah, yeah. We just like it's not very big. um yeah, we've just been like maintaining it like sporadically for a little bit, but it's pretty small to be honest, like and like
Well,
self-contained.
there's not much you need to do to maintain it, right? Except
Yeah, as
there
long as the
was
API works, we're good. Yeah.
I remember there was a because I was a UW student, but I transferred to Carleton.
Oh, okay.
So right during my transition, there was a situation where there was a stabbing at the university,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. So
that,
so we like lost all our professor data from that. So if you look, yeah, on the site right now, there's like no professor data.
mhm.
So they shut all that down. We can't provide like locations of courses anymore either. So trying to figure out. I guess we'll probably just remove those from the table and like add some like banner. But I haven't had
Yeah.
time to do anything.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because that was really helpful when I was checking the professors and seeing which one was the best too, based
Yeah,
off of the reviews.
yeah. No, it's too bad they just like had to do that. But
Mhm. I understand why though. That is definitely a safety concern.
yeah, I think it's more of like if someone actually wanted to stab a professor, they would find other ways to get the information. But
That too.
yeah,
That too. Mm.
yeah, because they were a student at the time, so they had access to like quests and everything, like internally, anyways. But
Yes.
that's okay.
I remember hearing it was a person working at Tim Hortons apparently.
Oh, really?
The Tim Hortons in SLC.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was wild.
Yeah. So are you taking computer science by the way, or like?
I'm taking computer science.
Yeah.
I was taking math at Waterloo, but I
Okay.
didn't really like it too much.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now at Carleton, I'm doing computer science.
Nice. Yeah, math is hard
It
and
is.
tedious for me.
You said you were doing engineering, right?
Yeah, I was in software engineering originally. I switched to like computer science after because I didn't want to. It was like COVID and I graduated early because I didn't want to do some more school. So I
Right.
dropped off and went to CS. Yeah, that's like a weird loophole.
Well, I hear software eng is just more courses than CS.
Yeah, just a
It's
couple more
this.
like mandatory courses, which is also like annoying. So,
Mm.
yeah, you're like forced to like take a bunch of like standardized like curriculum courses. Um, and
Do
I
you
went.
regret your decision of switching over?
No, no, I think I like the best part about like the engineering program was like the cohort. So, um, just having, yeah, I got to know everyone in like the first 2 years, so I feel like I didn't really lose anything by switching away. But yeah, how about you? Do you feel like Carleton's much better for you right now?
Um, well, I don't know if I made this clear, but I'm transferring in.
Oh, you just transferred.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
I thought you were
fall.
there for like a year already, but
No, no.
oh, okay, got it. Okay,
Mm.
nice.
I'm pretty excited to start though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'll be cool.
It seems like a nice school. My friend was saying it was a bit rigorous. I don't think it's as rigorous as Waterloo, but I think any CS degree at any Canadian university is gonna be decent.
Yeah, I mean it's a good school. They also have the is the Shopify like dev degree program there?
They
Or
have that.
they used to have that.
I think yeah, I think they still have that, the web dev.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I had a couple friends who did that. But yeah, no, Shopify's a cool company. Or it was back in the day. I don't know how they're doing now. Yeah, it looks like Carlton has like some kind of API.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Let's see. Their page is like really bad though. Like everything goes to like 404. Okay. Or they at least there's like a public exam calendar, an academic accommodations portal. What is this? Oh no, that's for like exam accommodation. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be nice to like, yeah, probably worth your time to like look into it and see like what you have, and then like design around that.
Do you think I should have a team with me? Is it
Uh,
realistic to do this on my own? Obviously not, as I said earlier, not to the scale of UW Flow.
yeah, I think it would be nice to have like, so we had a full-on designer that did all the UI for us.
Mhm.
So I think that was really helpful. That takes off like a lot of the work on the front end. We also had like a yeah, one of my friends was also like a product manager, so he was like just coordinating everything and like I guess organizing all the like features.
Yeah.
You don't need someone to do that, but I think someone else to help you like write the code would probably be pretty helpful. But it's like pretty draining to like do projects yourself, I think, and like you probably lose interest pretty quickly. Um,
That's true.
but maybe maybe you enjoy it a lot. So
Hmm.
I think it's like more of a personal thing. Yeah, if you want to just do like a small website and like play around and like get something up, like I think it's like a pretty good like personal project to be honest. But
Hmm.
yeah, you'd have to like figure out a lot on your own, like how to host it and like do all the authentication and servers and like, get the data.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but have you coded much? Or
Yes. Yeah. I would still say I'm probably not even intermediate though.
okay, yeah, that's
Still
yeah. I mean,
even.
you're just starting like an actual CS degree, so
Mm.
it'll yeah. I think yeah, UFO is like a great way to like for us to learn about coding in general, and I think like I still talk about it in like job interviews today because we have like a lot of users. So it's yeah, it's definitely been like useful over like the last 5 years, even though it's like
Compared to your other personal projects, your other portfolio projects, how would you rank this?
I didn't have many other like personal projects. I was mostly like working on like research when I was in school. So I did a lot of like machine learning. Um, but I think those projects like were generally like much smaller than UOV Flow. Yeah, we get around like 500,000 page views a month, and then like 40,000 visitors, which is like pretty like sizable.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's just like nice to be able to talk about something that has like numbers behind it. Um, and I'm sure like if Carleton doesn't have anything right now, like people would like start using it if like it was good. So yeah,
Yeah. I was actually thinking even I wouldn't really need to log in. Actually, I wouldn't need the login function, like
yeah,
Google login.
like searching and browsing courses.
Mm.
Yeah,
Because you just have that for checking or having reviews
yeah, yeah,
and saving. You have a save course function, I guess, favorite courses.
yeah, yeah. We have a favorite course. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, what we have on there actually. But yeah, yeah, we do have a favorite courses, and then we store your schedule so that you can see your schedule. Um,
Oh, right, and you can export that to Google
yeah,
Calendar.
yeah, yeah. So
That
those are
is
like yeah, those are the three functions. Yeah, reviews, calendar, and favoriting.
hmm.
But yeah, I mean, building the search is yeah a lot less involved in that. That's like a pretty good first step, I'd say, just to get people like using it.
Yeah, I'll have to look into the API then.
Yeah,
The API seems like a cheat code, basically.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it looks like Carlton had something. Um, I'm sure you can like talk to like the CS department or something to
Mm.
see if like they could even add stuff for you. Um, but generally, like I think schools are pretty open to like providing already publicly available data inside of APIs and just like making it easier to like build stuff on top of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's the thing though. I don't know how public the class schedules are. I'd
Yeah.
assume they are the same as Waterloo was before the stabbing,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen anything to show that.
Yeah. Did you get your like class schedule yet or anything? Like you
Yeah.
select your courses and everything?
Yes.
That's all like internal though, like you have to log in and
Yeah, I had to log in to do that.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean yeah, I would just take a look and like yeah, that kind of like changes like how you approach everything if you have an API. So start from the data first. Like I would probably like start by like just mocking up like what the features you want to look like and like getting like the bare minimum of functionality so that
Yeah.
you can like incrementally make progress so that you feel like you're like doing something.
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
and then just like putting it out somewhere. We like I guess we did all our marketing on Reddit because we have like most of the student base on Reddit, so we didn't have to like go anywhere else to like post about it. Um, and I guess it was already used like because it was already built in like 2012, so we had no like issues with like getting people to like start using it again. But if you're like making something from scratch, you're gonna probably have to like do like light marketing work or like
Mm.
get people
I
to
think
try.
the Reddit would work as well. Carleton
Yeah.
has a somewhat lively Reddit.
Okay. That's good.
I also wanted to ask, so should I basically fork from your project since it's open source, fork from your project, or should I just start from scratch completely? Because you have the UI UX down already.
Yeah, I think our UI UX is like too heavily. I think it's like first of all, it's like outdated with like current like newer libraries. So probably better to like start from scratch on the like tech side. And then there's also like just too many like extra features we have that you'll probably never need to use. That
Yeah.
I think that'll
Okay.
just like add confusion. Yeah, I think you can like reference it. I think the UI definitely like don't fork. The server we use for like fetching data for like authentication, like you could take a look at the code. I think it's also like probably better to like start from scratch because we have like very
Mm.
custom stuff for like importing the UW transcripts and then
Okay. Yeah.
processing the UW API specifically, which is like you're not gonna like use that anyways. Yeah, I guess you could follow like the general architecture though that we had. The READMEs have like overviews of like how everything's structured, so you should be able to like look at like how we set up the authentication endpoints.
I think I just have two more questions. I'm seeing that it's almost
Oh, yeah,
30.
no worries.
How did you host the site? What do you use to host the site?
Yeah, so everything's hosted on AWS. So
Okay.
we actually got a rent like prepaid for a server for 5 years with Amazon that the school paid for. So
Oh,
that they gave us like I don't know, I think it was like $400 the software engineering department to like continue hosting the site. So yeah, we've been like using that since. We're gonna have to like migrate off of or like just pay for it ourselves eventually. So like probably in like 2 years, but I think it's around like $30 a month that we host it. It's a little overkill. Like we probably only use like 10% of the CPU and like half the RAM. So I think once it's like used up, we can like downgrade to something smaller. But yeah, our server is just like one single machine that we run a bunch of like we expose like a port on the server so that like internet traffic can come, and then we point like uwphilly.com to it and like serve all the traffic with the server we run.
so for me, what would you recommend then? If it's something like smaller scale again?
Yeah, I think it's still like I was looking into it. I think it's still like cheapest to like host everything on AWS. Um, I would just look into like student like credits for like cloud compute because usually like
Okay.
there's like $200 or $300 credits for students, and then you can
Wow.
just like use that for a while. Um, but yeah, yeah, probably like you don't need to think about that for a while. There's also a new service that's called like Railway, and it lets you like run Docker containers very cheaply. Uh, I don't know how much it costs, but it's been used at like startups pretty widely. So this might be something nice to like look into.
Mm.
Oh, the hobbyist one is $5 a month. Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah. Generally, like the bigger companies, like the cloud providers, like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, they'll have like student credits. So like just look into that first and see if you can get
Nice.
something nice.
I think that's all the questions that I had.
Sweet.
I really appreciate you coming on
Yeah, no
and
worries.
taking
Yeah,
this interview.
yeah. I hope you have a good time at Carleton.
Thank you.
You're starting like in September, like 2 weeks, basically.
Yeah, I'm gonna move in on the 17th, so this Saturday,
Oh, nice.
and
Okay,
then I'm gonna start September 4th or 6th. I can't remember exactly when.
nice. Okay. Are
Mm.
you from Ottawa or
No,
the area?
I'm I'm from Belleville, which is 3 hours
Yeah, yeah,
away.
yeah,
It's funny because it's 3 hours away from Waterloo and Ottawa, so
yeah.
there's
We're
no
right in the middle.
benefit of going for transportation at least.
Yeah, that's still like pretty close to home, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're living in New York. How is
Yeah.
that?
I was only there for a year. New York's nice. It's very like crowded and busy. There's always like stuff to do. It's like probably like it's got the like best like public transit system in North America. So it's like nobody drives there, which is cool. Um, yeah, like taking the metro is like faster than driving, which is nice.
You
Everything's
said
open like 24/7.
you said it was there was always things to do. What do you do extracurricular?
I guess like there's just a lot of like population density. So there's like a shit ton of museums, like art, um, people just doing random sports everywhere. Um, yeah, a lot of pickleball running. Yeah, I think I mostly hang out with like Canadians actually, because like there's a lot of Waterloo grads there. So
Well, I was curious. I won't hold you too long.
yeah,
I
no
was just
worries.
curious, once I graduate, I don't know what I would take up as hobbies. I feel like it'd be harder to make friends because in the university environment, you're basically forced to make
Yeah,
friends.
yeah,
You have the same classes or at least one class in common, and then if you take a club, you'll probably see someone familiar, and residents especially. But
yeah.
outside of that, like once you graduate, like what do you how do you even socialize? Like okay, that's kind of a dumb question, but like
It's hard to meet people for sure. Like you kind of like spend all your day at work and like you interact with your coworkers a lot, but a lot of the time they're not like the same age as you or like they don't have the same interests
yeah,
to do stuff. Um, yeah, it's definitely like much harder to just meet people. I think there's always people trying to like do like team sports and do a lot of like yeah, I think most of my friends like play volleyball or like join a run club or like yeah, go climbing.
that's how you met them?
I I met some of them, yeah, through that. I think most of them I actually like knew already from Waterloo, so I was like pretty lucky. Um, but yeah, I think the other people that I've met like so far, like they like meet a couple people through work, they just hang out with them and like go to a couple like like try to like join on their hobbies and like you can like meet a lot of people and like just like branch out that way. I think New York's like easier to meet people for sure because like people are like more willing to like go outside and like just do stuff together. Um, some of the other like more like suburban cities or like areas, like it's like much harder to like see people like frequently and like it's not like easy to like go drive somewhere and like meet up.
Yeah. I feel I would say that's with my town. I feel pretty isolated even though it's like I think it's 60,000 residents now, but
Yeah.
still that's all like geriatrics just
Yeah.
walking around.
Yeah. Oh, Belleville's only 60,000 people. Huh.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's definitely hard to like yeah, get out there and like find people with like similar interests as you and like
Mhm.
such
Especially your age.
yeah, yeah, especially your age. Yeah, I think I've met like a lot of like people who are like plus or minus 5 years of my age in New York. So like the age of people I like hang out with has like expanded.
Okay. Yeah.
Like more on the older side probably because there's like I don't hang out with like students or anything, but
Oh.
yeah, yeah, running, weightlifting. Yeah, people like are pretty open to talking at the gym actually, but sometimes people just want to work out, so I
Yeah, that's
don't want to bother them.
sometimes I've tried to strike up conversation in the gym, but it's a little it's a 50-50.
Yeah, yeah. Well, cool man. You have any other questions or
No, that's it from me.
sweet? Yeah,
Again, I like thank you so much.
yeah,
This was really nice.
yeah. Just feel free to like email if you have like more questions later, and like give some answers. But
All right, cool. Yeah, that's I
yeah,
think once I start working on the project, actually have an idea in mind,
yeah,
I'll probably hit you up with a lot more emails.
yeah. I mean, I think it'd be good to like find someone to like work on it with, just to like have someone like help you out,
Yeah.
and like yeah, working together on something is like a lot nicer, I find. But yeah, if you haven't like, do you know anyone going to Carleton yet, or just gonna like meet people at school?
Sorry?
Do you know anyone at Carleton yet, or like he's gonna meet people when
I
you
have
go?
a couple of friends from my high school that go to Carleton,
Nice.
but and I met two people just through a little unofficial Carleton camp
Oh,
that we
nice.
had.
That's cool.
I
Okay.
think it should be, I feel like, as I said earlier, university environment, it's easier to socialize and get friends, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, especially
Yeah.
if I'm in the CS classroom.
Yeah, yeah. You'll meet lots of people, and
Mm,
like people will be like interested in doing stuff.
mm.